Amanda Michelle Todd was born on November 27, 1996. She died by suicide on October 10, 2012, at the age of 15 at her home in Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, Canada. On October 10, 2012, she posted a video on YouTube called My Story: Struggling, Bullying, Suicide, and Self-Harm. Many news websites linked to Todd's video. It had 1,600,000 views by October 13, 2012. Todd's death made people pay attention to the issue of cyberbullying, extortion, and bullying. People made memorial pages for Todd on Facebook. Some people posted mean comments on them while others supported her. On her YouTube video, Todd revealed that she showed her breasts on a video chat. She got a message on Facebook from a man. The message said that if Todd did not show more parts of her body, then he would post the pictures he had taken of her from the video chat to the internet. The police came to her home to tell her that photos of her were sent to everyone. Todd then got depression and panic disorder. She started abusing alcohol and drugs. Todd was asked by a boy to come to his house. The boy had a girlfriend, but he acted like he liked Todd. She went to his house. The next week, the boy's girlfriend appeared at Todd's school with 15 other people. Todd was hurt really bad, and it was filmed by people who watched. When she went home, she drank bleach. People made fun of her for doing this and wrote on Facebook that they wished that she had not survived. The original video has had more than 15 million views as of May 2023, although mirrored copies of the video had received tens of millions of additional views shortly after her death. Additionally, a YouTube video by React has a video of teens reacting to Todd's video that has garnered 44.7 million views as of May 2023, and various videos from news agencies around the world regarding the case have registered countless millions more. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police and British Columbia Coroner Service launched investigations into the suicide. In response to her death, then Premier of British Columbia, Christy Clark, made an online statement of condolence and suggested a national discussion on criminalizing cyberbullying. A motion was also introduced in the Canadian House of Commons to propose a study of the scope of bullying in Canada and for more funding and support for anti-bullying organizations. Todd's mother, Carol, established the Amanda Todd Trust, receiving donations to support anti-bullying awareness education and programs for young people with mental health problems. A Dutch-Turkish man, Aiden Coben, who was already imprisoned for sexual blackmail in the Netherlands, was extradited to Canada to face trial on charges of harassing and sexually extorting Todd before her suicide. On August 5, 2022, the jury found Coben guilty on all counts, and he was sentenced to 13 years in prison on October 14, 2022. On December 21, 2023, a Dutch judge reduced his sentence to 6 years in prison. On September 7, 2012, Todd posted a 9-minute YouTube video titled My Story: Struggling, Bullying, Suicide, Self-Harm, which showed her using a series of flashcards to tell of her experiences being bullied. The video went viral after her death on October 10, 2012, receiving over 1,600,000 views by October 13, 2012, with news websites from around the world linking to it.
During the video, Todd writes that when she was in 7th grade, 2009 to 10, around the same time she moved in with her father, she used video chat to meet new people over the internet and received compliments on her looks. After a stranger repeatedly asked her for over a year to bare her breasts, Todd did so on a webcam stream, and the person saved frames using screen capturing. He later blackmailed her by threatening to give the topless photo to her friends unless she gave him a show. She also was featured briefly on the Daily Capper on Blog TV, a pedophile-run news show utilizing animation of the character Dora Smarmy from the HBO family series Crash Box that tracked children who were groomed into doing sex acts on camera and encouraged their continued exploitation. An episode of Daily Capper a month after Todd's death claimed to oppose her abusers and reveal evidence that incriminates them. Todd wrote that during the 2010 Christmas break, police informed her that the photo was circulating on the internet. She wrote that she experienced anxiety, depression, and panic disorder due to having been sexually exploited online and cyberbullied. Her family moved to a new home, where Todd said she began using alcohol and other drugs. A year later, Todd's blackmailer reappeared, creating a Facebook profile that used the topless photo as its profile image and contacting classmates at her new school. Again, Todd was teased, eventually changing schools for a second time. She wrote that she began chatting to an old guy friend who contacted her. The friend invited Todd to his house, where they had sex while his girlfriend was on vacation. The following week, the boy's girlfriend and a group of about 15 others confronted Todd at school, shouting insults, with the boy's girlfriend punching her. Todd fell to the ground, then lay in a ditch, where her father found her. After the attack, Todd attempted suicide by drinking bleach, but survived after being rushed to the hospital to have her stomach pumped. "It killed me inside and I thought I was gonna actually die," Todd commented in her video. After returning home, Todd discovered abusive messages about her suicide attempt posted to Facebook. In March 2012, her family moved to another city to start afresh, but Todd was unable to escape the past. According to her mother, every time she moved schools he would go undercover and become a Facebook friend. What the guy did was he went online to the kids who went to the new school and said that he was going to be a new student, that he was starting school the following week and that he wanted some friends, and could they friend him on Facebook. He eventually gathered people's names and sent Todd's video to her new school, including students, teachers, and parents. 6 months later, further messages and abuse were still being posted to social networking sites. With Todd's mental state worsening, she began to engage in self-mutilation and cutting. Despite taking her prescribed antidepressants and receiving counseling, she overdosed and was hospitalized for 2 days. Todd was taunted by other students at her school for her low grades, a consequence of a language-based learning disability, and for the time she spent in the hospital to treat her severe depression. It didn't really help that after she got out of the hospital recently, some kids started calling her psycho and saying she had been in the crazy hospital. Her mother said, "She went to the hospital, she had therapy, she had counseling, she was on a good track. On the day she gets out, that happens." I shake my head and I think, are kids really that nasty? Do they really not think, what if it was them? On October 10, 2012, at about 6 p.m. PDT, Todd's body was found hanging at her home. At the time of her death, Todd was a 10th grade student at Cabe Secondary in Coquitlam, a school that caters to students who have experienced social and behavior issues in previous educational settings.
A preliminary investigation by British Columbia Coroner's Service showed that Todd's death was a suicide. The cause of death was reported in some media as hanging, but the exact cause of death had not been released. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police (RCMP) and British Columbia Coroner's Service put 20 full-time investigators on the case. The Coquitlam and Ridge Meadows serious crime teams cooperated in a full investigation, conducting interviews and examining factors that might have contributed to Todd's death. Investigators reviewed content at social media sites and actively monitored pages. The Canadian national organization cybertype.ca reported having received a tip about Todd nearly a year before her suicide. The anti-child exploitation group stated that, in November 2011, a concerned citizen reported that images of Todd were in circulation on the Internet. That information was provided to law enforcement and child welfare agencies. According to the CBC News program The Fifth Estate, the RCMP were repeatedly informed that Todd was being sexually extorted by an adult male, and in response the RCMP told the family there was nothing that could be done about it. According to the Ontario Provincial Police, OPP, however, the crime of sextortion can be investigated quite successfully. After an investigation by Facebook's security unit, whose report was forwarded by U.S. authorities to the Child Exploitation and Online Protection Center attached to the British National Crime Agency, and then to Dutch authorities, in January 2014 Dutch police arrested a man in a case involving multiple victims in the Netherlands, UK, and Canada, having installed spyware on his computers, chilling chat logs of extortion, numerous images of CP, and 5,800 bookmarked names that served as a database of potential victims and their social networks were found. In April 2014, it was reported that Dutch authorities charged a 35-year-old man of dual Dutch and Turkish citizenship, identified only as Aiden C., in the Netherlands in accordance with Dutch privacy laws, with indecent assault and possession of CP. That same month, the RCMP announced that the man had been charged with extortion, internet luring, criminal harassment and possession and distribution of CP for his alleged offenses against Todd and other child victims. Todd's mother expressed her gratitude for the police, but also said that she believed more than one person was involved. On January 28, 2015, CBC News said that Aiden Coben had written an open letter proclaiming his innocence. Dutch authorities dropped some CP charges in October 2015, Coben's case went to trial in February 2017, and concluded on March 16, 2017. He faced 72 charges of SA and extortion in the Netherlands involving 39 alleged victims, 34 young women and 5 men in countries as various as Britain, Canada, Norway, and the US, some of whom had been harassed for years. Eventually convicted and sentenced on the Dutch charges of internet fraud and blackmail, he faced 5 separate Canadian charges related to Todd, herself not one of the 39. And it was anticipated that he would be extradited to Canada no sooner than the middle of 2018 whilst serving his Dutch sentence of 10 years and 8 months. Carol Todd expressed relief at the sentence. In December 2019, it was reported that Canadian authorities were preparing for the extradition. Due to problems obtaining travel documents for Coben and his lawyer, Robert Malewich, the extradition was delayed until December 2020. The trial began in the Supreme Court of British Columbia on June 6, 2022. On August 5, 2022, the jury found Coben guilty of all charges. On October 14, 2022, Coben was sentenced to 13 years in prison by the presiding judge, who used her discretion to add a year to the 12 years sought by the Crown Attorney, citing aggravating factors including the sophistication of the blackmail scheme, the widespread distribution of Todd's images, and Coben's lack of remorse. On December 21, 2023, a Dutch judge reduced Coben's sentence for his crimes against Todd to 6 years in prison.
Carol Todd established the Amanda Todd Trust at the Royal Bank of Canada, receiving donations to support anti-bullying awareness education and programs for young people with mental health problems. A week after Todd's death, ABC News reported that fraudulent websites had been set up claiming to solicit donations, quoting a statement by RCMP Sergeant Peter Thiessen, "Taking advantage of a family's grief is despicable. We want to get the word out that there is one real account, and anyone who is interested can make a donation at any RBC branch to the Amanda Todd Trust account." It has since been incorporated as a nonprofit colloquially known as Amanda Todd Legacy, with a particular outreach on the mental health issues of adolescents on occasions such as World Mental Health Day on October 10th. The Amanda Todd Legacy Award was established in conjunction with the Douglas College Foundation in 2016. 3 students are awarded $1,000 annually toward their studies. Amanda Todd Legacy and Carol Todd have also participated in LGBT advocacy under the aegis of Kids Help Phone, Canada's 24-hour hotline for youth in crisis. Carol Todd is close friends with Leah Parsons, the mother of Rita Parsons, and they frequently network on cyberbullying issues. The 2 women often have speaking engagements about their respective daughters with an emphasis on respect, acceptance, forgiveness, and dignity. On March 24, 2018, composer Jocelyn Morlock won the Juno Award for Classical Composition of the Year for a piece inspired by Amanda Todd. She was joined on stage by Carol Todd.
In December 2020, Coben was extradited to Canada to face trial in the Supreme Court of British Columbia. On August 5, 2022, a jury found him guilty on all charges and he was sentenced to 13 years in prison. This was the true story of Amanda Todd. Thank you all for watching. And until next time, take care.